This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. This episode of A Glassblower's Companion is brought to you by the Glass Vegas Expo. Glass Vegas brings together some of the greatest glass artists and industry vendors all under the same roof with a respectable and heartwarming vibe unlike any other functional glass art show out there. With opportunities for artists to sign up for educational seminars, glass competitions, and trades, offering more time to mingle and to share the love of a common interest. Stay tuned to their website, glass.vegas, and follow them on Instagram at Glass Vegas Expo. That's at Glass Vegas Expo, all one word. This episode is also brought to you by the Orlando Glass Union. Whether you're a traveling artist or love to take classes, the Orlando Glass Union offers a clean, comfortable space with benches to rent and space for classes, which are generally offered on a monthly basis. For more information on available space, classes to sign up for, and much more, go to orlandoglassunion.com. That's orlandoglassunion.com. Hey, Amy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Good. Well, I should say welcome back, and thanks for picking out like 20 minutes of your time today. We got 2 days before Glass Vegas this year starts, and I know you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, like normal.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely really crazy, but thank you so much for taking the time to do this podcast for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the first time Glass Vegas has been on a weekend. Is that correct? Aren't they usually throughout the weekdays?
It is, yeah. We usually have Glass Vegas during the weekdays, but one thing that I think that people don't realize when it comes to booking these dates is how difficult it actually really is. It's not just like we call the hotel and okay, these are the dates that we want and it's, all good. It's a lot more of a painstaking process, if you will.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And, normally we have a lot more choices, but the reason that we didn't for this particular contract in this year was because of COVID. Mm-hmm. People didn't have shows for almost 2 years. So it was everyone rescheduling those shows. And then we didn't have nearly as much of a choice in dates because it was like feast or famine, if you will, for everyone trying to reschedule what they weren't able to have for 2 years, which most people always have annually, So we went to go and get our dates and there wasn't as many choices. And so we had to take what we could get because, the thing is that we don't want to have it on the weekend. Yeah. It's very expensive. There's a lot more that's going on that's in town. And also, even with our discounted rates for hotels, that increased the cost of what we're paying per exhibitor times 2 this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, because, we pay for a hotel room for 3 nights for each different exhibitor. And a lot of, artists and people don't realize it, but we still pay every last penny for that just because we make it included with their booth cost. Right. We still have to, So, yeah, we didn't even think about it. But our costs should have raised, we should have raised our booth prices a little bit more than we did. But it was really hard to do that this year because the industry is in such a tight, squeezy space right now, if you will.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. And kicking off this year of episodes, it's one thing I'm definitely talking about is like, I've seen a lot of well-known artists out there that are like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go get a part-time job, kind of thing. It's kind of crazy.
Right, exactly. And so it's really hard because it's like, we want to survive. Mm-hmm. Last year was the first year that we actually went into the green and it wasn't even that much after doing shows for this long, but a lot of people have the misconception that, we're making a whole lot of cash and that's not true. We're actually barely able to make the show happen with as expensive a show it is and how much we do for the industry and the artists,
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of volunteering in a sense.
Yeah. So it's real difficult. I mean, our costs have increased so much, and we didn't nearly pass off what we needed to everyone else coming. But like we said, it was a really hard year. We'll have to, try to balance that out, in the future. But it's just kind of, it's hard. It's hard. It's, we paid 80,000 for exhibitors last year for hotel rooms, and this year we're paying 160,000.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah,
and that being said too, it's no longer the Bally's. You have now the Horseshoe Casino, I guess it's called. And so it's a whole different.
Yeah, they changed ownership for for Caesar's property. So not only is it on the weekend, you've been to the grocery store, costs are rising for everyone. So of course the hotels are going to, bump up things too. So we're just trying to get through the hard times because, I know that everyone's having a difficult time as well, but man, we're an event company. We actually didn't have any income for 17 months during the pandemic when everybody else was doing really well,
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that off the air. Yeah, that's yeah, and I think that's what you guys just, I can go on all day about how much you guys do for the industry, especially looking at other trade shows that have existed. And also I think one benefit right now is, I don't know the schedule for Champs, but I know Champs isn't like this weekend. Like last year it was like back to back. And the year before that was like the first year that Las Vegas was open for the people to come in to buy stuff, and the shop owners would ape shit. And everybody sold out within like 5 minutes. And then like last year, everybody's waiting around like, okay, where's all the sales? And then sales were starting to finally happen. So I'm going to be really curious to see how this year works out. The madness won't necessarily be there, but I think it's going to be more conservative in a sense. But I think that it's going to give artists a chance to really understand like they need to get their shit together when it comes to marketing themselves and running a business as well.
Well, yeah, because the world is having a really hard time right now, and especially in art, because art is not completely a necessity like your home or food is, right? So it's in an industry that, is not always, you have to have it. I mean, I do. Yeah. I have to have glass in my life. But not everybody else sees it that way. So it's just kind of hard because, we're at a standpoint. But I mean, it's just like any other industry. Honestly, there's the ups and the downs. And it's just kind of, I think that it was like, I call it the glass rush of 2020. Yeah. Nobody could make enough glass. Nobody could buy enough glass. Nobody could keep it on their shelves enough. But with something like that happens, just like in a real estate bubble, it's going to become a bubble and it's going to burst. And then it goes down. And then we have to go back up and kind of level out,
Yeah, 100%. And like kind of a side note, disc golf, the sport has grown exponentially in the last 3 years due to COVID. Like before 2020, they had 100,000 members ish. And at the end of 2021, they had 200,000 members total. So like 100,000 people signed up in like 2 years, right? So all these companies are growing huge and people are selling Frisbees like crazy. Now all these companies are sitting on inventory because things are starting to kind of settle out a little bit. So,
it just had to balance out, right? There was an overabundance. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Overabundance of glass in the scene. And so it just had to, it has to balance out and it will, this industry is strong and it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And even though it might be struggling a little bit right now, that's to me, no indication in how the future is going to be. It's just like any other industry. It goes up and down, waxers and wanes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's got to be patient and ride the waves, like investing in whatever, is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, back in 2008 and 9, when the big bubble with real estate happened, that's what my career was in before I started working for my mother's company here 10 years ago. That's what I was doing for 10 years was I was in land and development. And when that happened, nobody had a job.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of friends that lost money.
Oh man, it was really crazy. And I had to completely reinvent myself. But you know what? I didn't belong in real estate anyways. It's too cutthroat for me. And I care more about who I'm working with and what we're actually doing as a team and a company, as opposed to making a grip of cash, Right. So I'm just glad that happened because I wouldn't be here where I'm at now. If that hadn't, my path might have gone in a whole different direction,
Yeah, completely. And I had you and your mom on like 3 years ago, I guess it was, and you guys shared the whole journey. So I'll make sure to put a link in the episode, to kind of, so people can go back and listen to like the history of you guys. Cause you guys, as a family have been part of the glass culture for decades. That's fascinating.
Yeah. For 30 years now, because Glasscraft and Beat Expo, my mother, Leanne, started that show about 30 years ago. We're hitting the 28th show this year, but it would have been 30 if COVID hadn't happened.
Wow. Holy shit. Unreal.
Yeah, we were able to continue Glass Vegas by pushing it into May that one year and do it that way, but we weren't able to have Glasscraft for 2 years. So
yeah, it's true. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So I'll be really interested to hear, feedback from artists and from you as well, how things go. But
yeah, absolutely.
So this is taking place this weekend, which is I'm recording this on January 11th, and it's the 13th through the 15th. And on January 13th at 3:30, from 3:30 to 5, Eric Goldschmidt's going to be talking about his upcoming documentary called The Flame, where was given the honor to travel the world and just kind of study and discover the history of flame working and lamp working and stuff. So I'm really excited to that you guys have him there doing this. I'm going to bring him on the show to talk about the same kind of stuff. But yeah, you need insight.
Yeah, I'm really
to that.
excited. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's super cool. Is it going to be in the same room that was the last year, the same space we did the talk?
It is. And actually, we have 2 different education series this year. So we have the Buyers Education Series that is happening on Friday in the Palace Room #1 that's on down that hallway corridor on the way to the show floor. And it's for the buyers from 1 to 2. Of course, artists can attend if they'd like. But it's titled it's basically to start thriving in the industry, stop surviving and start thriving. And it's from George of US Tubes and Phil of Still Smokin'.
Okay.
And we are going to have a Q&A, but also share how to make it work in trying times.
That's awesome.
How to change it up. So yeah, that's from 1 to 2 because buyer registration starts at 2 p.m. So we did that one a little bit earlier,
Okay. Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, and then the artist education is from 3:30 to 5 in that same room.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a good idea. It's so important because it's all this big symbiotic relationship we all have from the buyers and the makers and the sellers, and it's so cool you guys are helping those guys out too. Like I've wanted to start a podcast on just smoke shops and kind of share their talks, and because I know that the shops are struggling, as well, not just the artists.
Right. Exactly. So that's what this kind of is that those are 2. In my opinion, very successful men in the industry, and they would have a lot to offer as far as how to change your thought process from the doom and gloom to let me navigate through this in a different way. Let me try to switch it up a little bit, things like that. So.
That's amazing. And then also, are you guys doing the Millie meetup this year?
Yes, we definitely are. And we've learned from past mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's always wanting to do it bigger and better.
Last year.
Always wanting to do yeah. It was, it's always wanting to do it bigger and better and do it at some big mansion and things like that. And, we got really caught up in that part of it, and it just doesn't work at mansions and stuff. They don't want what we're doing there. You know what I mean? And it always gets the cops called or something always ends up happening. So it's still, a bit of a surprise, but we have it at a place this year that people can drive there. We'll still have the shuttles. Everyone will be able to stay the entire time. Everyone will be able to smoke and dab throughout the entire facility, and we're not going to have to worry about it. So it'll be, we really, really went hard on our Millie meetup this year. So I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised with that.
That's awesome. And I love that that's a thing. Like people are still collecting Millie chips. I remember back 22 years ago when I got into this and I saw Millies and I was like, what the hell? This is incredible. And it's just so cool. It's still a thing.
I know, right? Definitely.
So cool. And then opening night, there's a concert being held. I've seen
it's something that's really, really special. I'm not quite sure that everybody really realizes what's happening. So it is Jacob Knoll, and Jacob Knoll is Bradley Knoll, the late frontman of Sublime. It's his son. So when Bradley Knoll passed away in the 90s, his son was only 11 months old. So he didn't grow up listening to his dad's music like we did and learning it and all of those things, and he grew up to be a great musician himself, but he didn't, play his dad's music or anything like that until it was, I think just like a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. He was asked by his dad's foundation, the Knoll Family Foundation, It's called Bradley's House. And it's to help people who are trying to recover from drugs, just as a paying homage to Bradley. And so his son, Jacob, is very, very interested in a big part of his dad's foundation and making that happen. So he went ahead and learned a couple of his dad's songs and played them for an event for the foundation. And it blew everybody away because he sounds really a lot like his father.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I can't wait to see the footage from it.
Yeah. So that's what he's going to do is we talked with him, and it's something that he's not going to be doing again. It's not something that he does very often. It's only happened a couple of times. So it's something that's very rare and very special. And he's going to be doing a complete acoustic set of his dad's songs, of Sublime songs.
Wow. What an honor. That's amazing. I had no idea.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Really
Holy shit.
About that. It's really, really special that you're not going to see again, know?
Yeah, it's making me dread not going this year, even just to go.
I know, I'm sorry. We wish that you could be here too.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. And then at the Millie meetup, we have another band that actually works with Jacob, Noel, and they're going to be playing music all night. We'll have DJ Surge, our awesome DJ manager. He's going to be spinning some tunes for about an hour that night too. And we're really excited. Millie meetup's going to be off the chain, and so is opening night.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. A lot of fun events. And then last but not least also is the World Series of Glass that's going to be happening. I remember last year seeing all the pieces that were put together, and just maybe want to hang up my torch and just like not blow glass anymore. It's crazy what's being made these days. It's just fucking crazy.
I know there's just some crazy, amazing talent out there. And it's, you know what? Our team is so honored to be able to house all of these beautiful human beings and foster the glass art and cannabis industry. We take it very seriously. We love every single person that we deal with and come in contact with, from our buyers to our artists, to our sponsors, to our, spectator artists, everyone. It's a really big family, and we just feel really, really blessed and honored to be a part of it. Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah, we feel the same. I know, people I talk to all the time, like, can't say nothing bad about you guys ever. It's always positive, especially when they're, not comparing you to anybody, but the past trade shows they've been to and the experiences that have been super shitty, and if something happens with you guys, you guys are doers. You tend to take care of stuff. It might take a little longer because you guys are all running around like, glass blowers are like cats. You run around trying to hurt everybody together, So it's like, but you guys get shit done.
Thank you. That really means a lot. And I have to remember that because, I'll be transparent. We make mistakes just like everybody else, but I think it's like I said, everyone makes mistakes. So it's not necessarily always the mistake that's made. It's how you deal with it, and you do your best not to make those mistakes again. But, we literally live, breathe, eat, sleep glass. We do everything that we can to support everyone. Today my day was spent, there was at least 4 hours of my day spent today inputting names for badges when I haven't even packed myself. I haven't got my dog's food ready. I haven't gotten anything ready, and we have to be on site and ready to roll tomorrow. But it's more important to me to be there for people. And until we can get people up to speed to knowing that they need to put that stuff in ahead of time. And it's just, it happens. We're dealing with brilliant minds all the time. Mm-hmm. And so brilliant minds and artists, it's difficult when it comes to some of the computer stuff and things like that, and so we just care a lot, and we're always doing our best that we can for this industry and for all of our buyers and artists and our family, our glass fam, Yeah,
well, it definitely shows. Absolutely.
That means a lot. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Well, I know your time is short, so I'm going to wrap this up here with you. So, again, it's going to be this weekend, January 13th through the 15th. Opening night is the VIP night, and then there's 2 days of regular shows for the buyers to come in, and then cleanups around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I guess, on Sunday. And
yep. Well, opening night, it's not really, I just want to clarify, it's not necessarily for VIPs. It's for everyone. It's just a shortened opening night. We have load in that same day from like 10 till 6:30. And then the show is from 7 to 10.
Okay.
But everyone's allowed to come. We don't do any pre-buying. We don't do any like special entrances. We try to treat everyone on the same level.
Yeah, that's my bad. Like somebody was telling me last year that the first night was for the VIP folks, quote unquote, to get the first dibs on the headies.
Well, and you know what? A lot of people think that. That's why I wanted to reiterate on that, because a lot of people do think that from other shows that might have done things like that in the past. But nope, we don't. We don't take money for early entry. We never will. We don't allow sponsors or other people to go onto the show floor prior to. It's just staff and exhibitors. People get through and they get in, but that's typically through our exhibitors that are not doing the right thing or through buyers, So we really do the best we can with what we got. And we really just try to improve as best as we can every year and make it a better experience for everyone.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for clarifying that. I do appreciate it. And for those going, I wish you all the best of luck selling your glass this weekend. For sure. Right
on. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you, Jason, and your support always. So much love for you.
Likewise.
And the whole team. Yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be a great show.
This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by The Flow magazine. Since its inception, the focus of The Flow has been to provide a bond among members of the lampworking community. In every issue, you can enjoy great content with the hottest artists and cutting-edge techniques using the latest industry products. These features, along with the continuation of our Women in Glass edition, Glasscraft Emerging Artist Awards, inspiring gallery showcases, dynamic general interest articles, as well as health and safety information, make The Flow the leading international lampworking journal. For more information or to subscribe to The Flow, go to theflowmagazine.com. That's theflowmagazine.com.